peace, power, and love. Again, Humam Abdulmalik, Blackanized, International Nubian, conscious. Conscious chess moves. Again, before the sunrise. In a realization that we must rise in understanding so that we can come together as a people in some peace and some harmony and some love and overcome this reckless behavior we have among the activity in our community, the criminal activity, the activity of hurting each other through shooting each other, or shooting at each other. And it's just totally, it's ridiculous, it's unsound of us to have such behavior in this day and time when we need to be developing, growing together in the unity of harmony and peace and love. Even though everything is socially engineered and by design, and a silent war being perpetrated by those behind the scenes. We know this, we speak this, but we fall victim to this. We must overcome this immediately. It's taking a toll on our community. And while our young warriors are doing this, we have so many missing young children in our community. There's also becoming, I'm not saying an epidemic, but it's too much. Too many young children, our young sisters or brothers or whatever, mainly our sisters are being abducted for whatever reason, mainly sex rings, I believe, body parts, I believe, or both, but it shouldn't be happening. We are so non-observant in our community or so caught up in the stupor of activity of whatever the parents are doing to allow our children to be unprotected in our communities, or in the community not being observant in protecting our children, our next generation of leaders. It's a shame when this go on in our community and we having these silent wars perpetrated against ourselves and don't know why. I mean, discontrol or anger or whatever, and shooting guns at each other, trying to kill each other and hurt each other in an animalistic, predatory way. It got to stop. It got to. It's not, it don't have to take that it get to you in order to cry out that it should stop. We got to unify and organize in the community, because the police is not in our community. It's a job. They work shifts in our community, but we're there 24/7, and we're the ones that should protect our communities of everything in the essence of being a unified people or divine people. It's like, you know, you have an eternal natural enemy. You know that the system is supposed to be about us as a people, but the system is hypocritical and it's dealing with us because it's a capitalist system, a class system, a system that's based on racism in reality. It's a system that perpetrates itself by indoctrinating and educating the people to perpetrate it. And that is the essence of it. We are learned and turned out to not to develop our own community. It's through assimilation and integration that became our direst detriment to us as a people. When it was separate, we was doing all right in our communities around the country. We was doing so well that they dropped bombs on it and destroyed them because of the envy and jealousy of us doing well and didn't need this system to do well. We got to get back to that state of economical independence, spiritual independence, and most important, the two, culture and economical and spiritual. Well, that's three. We had those entities, then we are well-rounded. And we have to establish that in this day and time, not only locally, but nationally, globally. Because if we don't, we're gonna stay in this quagmire, this separate maze that we be in, on the treadmill of the Gerbil. And we have to establish peace, power, and love. On the pathway of our ancestors within the divine light that shines, man, within our temple. And sisters. Our sisters, y'all play a very, very important role in this development because y'all are the first teachers. And our brothers just are important because we get the guidance. We have to establish a whole new paradigm of teaching our children how to come into adulthood, how to deal with relationships, how to deal with the money, financial situations and investments, and being entrepreneurs, being producers instead of consumers. We got to come out of that mentality to just be consumers. We got to come out of the mentality to just spend money as soon as we get it. To, for fads and trends, for name brand stuff. We got to be cooperative in our ideology. We got to help each other, collaborate with each other, network with each other, and uplift our people, uplift our race, our ethnic group in a divine, economical way, cultural way. We got to get back into contact of who we are as a people and establish that in our neighborhoods, in our homes and all. And every day it seems like it get more difficult to reach our youth, but it's not so difficult because we got a large percent of our youth that's on the path of productivity. We just got to support those, but we got to reach those that have that animalistic nature, that predatory nature in our communities, and help them come out of that state of mind, because it is a state of mind that's been programmed into them. There's evidence or literature out that says that once we're in their grasp or hands or whatever, they be programming us for have that type of nature. to be predatory and deal with the animalistic nature. So that's why we got to tap into our spirituality to overcome that. We got to tap into our natural inclination to be righteous people. Not weak people, but strong people. We have to be warriors, but we have to be righteous warriors, to be builders of the community and not people to tear down the community or have the community in a state of fear. Have our elders in a state of fear. Have our children in a state of fear where they can't come out and feel safe in our communities. It shouldn't be like that. Our community should be a safe haven for us as a people. And that's where we should get to strive to as a people unified in a unified effort. And I was just reading something earlier tonight. I've been up all night thinking about things, personal, non-personal, but it's all really personal. And where did I go wrong? Or what can I do better to reach more people, to be more productive in reaching them, and reaching them with something that's so potent that it will make them or stimulate them in their mindset to just reflect, to look in the mirror and reflect upon their actions. For one moment, to sincerely look in the mirror and sincerely ask yourself, is my conduct and my character in accord with my divine nature? And if it's not, what is it about? Am I being productive? I'm being negative? I'm being destructive? Am I building up or am I tearing down? And if it strikes at home, then what? Then are you going to continue to be the animalistic or the predator, or is going to heighten that disposition when it don't have to be that way? That if we come together, or you come together with the brothers that you're in conflict with, and break bread and make peace, and then in a united effort, we protect our community and we hold the people together or responsible that's supposed to give us help and support as a people. If it is what we need to, we say we need to feed our families when we need to eat, come together and come off the street in a united effort. It could be better formulated, where you can get things that will help you, jobs and programs, the training, on-the-job training, to get you in a position to make money legally and don't have to hurt people to make money, or be a domino effect of making money, or the ripple in a pond where one person do something, he got to do something to get money to give to you, and to do that he hurts somebody else or steal from somebody else or rob somebody else. So this ripple effect get bigger and bigger. But it got to stop. We got to develop a mentality and a spirit where we can live in harmony and peace in our communities, where we don't need no slave catchers in our community, where we are the protectors of our community, where we can be more watchful in our communities, that those people that's abducting our children won't be able to do it, won't be able to come in our community and do that. For whatever reason or however they doing it, they will be caught and seen and discouraged from doing that. But if we don't develop that watchfulness of our community and become protectors of our community, then it's going to continue to happen. We're going to be victims of our own demise if we don't wake up and realize that we're hurting ourselves along with a program of or institution that's geared towards hurting us or keeping us in a position of hurting ourselves through social engineering, through social narcotics, of white supremacy and institutionalized racism. But see, you can't see that because it's so subtle, so fine and thin, that those activities, that the picture don't be on that. It be on our activities, that what we do in the street to harm each other. And sometimes you can never get tired because it's a lifetime project. It's like goal reaching and goal setting. And the goal reaching now is to reach our youth, to turn them around, have them turn themselves around, but we got to offer them something that will turn them around. When I say we, I'm saying us, or the people that's in position to orchestrate jobs, on-the-job training, programming where money's involved so that they can eat. So they don't have no excuse no more that they're not eating and feeding their family. We got to give them what they want. That's their only salvation. Because if they don't get anything, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. I know in where I'm at in D.C., this might be all over D.C., but not all over. But in this area, I can only speak for what I hear and see every day. It's always a siren in the neighborhood. Always, all day long. It's discouraging, because when I hear it, I know that 9 out of 10 is an activity of a criminal activity or shooting or something like that. And I will, and I pray that we can stop it. Like yesterday, it has to be stopped, and only we can stop it. We got to put forth the effort. And the perpetrators of this activity, they must stop it. But we got to reach and we got to plant seeds. Not only seeds, we got to be proactive in having something to take place of what they're doing it for. If we don't do that, then how can we really be productive in stopping it or helping them stop it? We got to be sincere about this, because it's really an epidemic in our community, and it's affecting us in that way. Ah, boy. And it's shameful when we are the people that we are. We are the divine people that we are. We are the people of originality. We are the people with culture excellence. If we just tap into the divine energy that's in us in the temple and realize who we are. I'm talking about we got to feed each other this nourishment of who we are, the understanding of who we are. That's the detriment in our community that we got to stop. We got to stop hurting each other. And I promote, I say that we stop dealing with all vices, such as drugs and alcohol and all those things like that, because those are implements of the negative energy to keep us in a stupor, and mainly every Friday. That's what we wait for, majority of us. Now, I ain't gonna say the majority, a lot of us can't wait to Friday, and after we get our finances, first place we head is to the liquor store to get all type of liquors to be in a state of mind that we say we feel good, or we buy drugs to say that so we can feel good, instead of just naturally feeling good. Have a natural high, a divine high, a spiritual high, an intelligent high. We got to change our state of mind. We got to change our language, change our appetites. We got to exercise a divine appetite, culture appetite, and intelligent appetite. We got to learn. We got to read. We got to put down the gun, pick up a book on our culture, on development of the spirituality of the energy centers, and learn sciences that will propel us to be better human beings. That's what we need to do as a people in an organized manner. In all religious institutions, whatever it may be, the same thing. Bring us together, not only to have us in inclusion in our temples or whatever, masjids, and we got to answer. Yeah, my brother, he spoke on the mind control deception. The MK something. I forgot that word or that thing, but I had a book on that, on mind control, and it's definitely apparatus that the government is using through frequencies and through the chemtrails, through the water, the toothpaste, all this fluoride and all this stuff, and the GMOs in the food and all that, and all these vaccines. They creating stuff in the laboratories that affect us and all that. But we know this, and we just gotta fortify ourselves against this. We know the natural enemy. We know what the European Neanderthal troglodyte mentality and this so-called government perpetrating against us in this quagmire, deceptive maze, in this distorted illusion of a reality that they present to us. We know that. We know what they're doing. We know our natural enemy. Now we got to develop ourselves against him, or against it, against this system, this hypocritical system. And we sometimes, a lot of times, we assimilate into the system. And if you assimilate into the system, you're not changing the system. You're dealing with the system, what the system is producing, such as the laws and legislation that change things. But it takes time when you're doing that. I believe that we got to develop a infrastructure of our own building, and we got to do that. Like yesterday, through organization, unification. If we done it before, we can do it again, because we are civilization builders. We build civilizations. If we just come out of the context or the quagmire, the deceptive maze that they have us in mentally also, mentally and spiritually, we can be like enslaved, or mentally enslaved and spiritually enslaved. We got to break away from that entity of their concept or their story, of the illusion of our story, or the distortion of our story. We must start to think on a different line, in a different light, with a different mindset, to establish an infrastructure within this society, so that we don't get caught up in the tsunami that's coming down the pipeline one way or the other. There's too many things going on in this system. It's like this system is crumbling. We got fascism in there. We got communists in there. And it's a dismantlement of the so-called Constitution. Let me see. A brother, he made a statement like reality is coming together from outer space with the non exoplanets or super Earths and other solar systems. That is true scientifically. Data that's coming out about other solar systems and all that, with like similar living conditions as our planet does. But I don't know if that's right now. We got to deal with what's going on here, and that might be an effect on what's going here, because it might be coming here. They say Naruba is headed this way, and it's something that the NASA is not saying anything about, or the government. There's something that's coming this way that's going to have effect upon this Earth, this planet. We know that the energy is open, and that this is the age of Aquarius, and with a lot of divine energy that's being propelled in the universe, trying to affect the universe. We got to be susceptible to it. But on this level, in this dimension, this realm that we're in, we got to somewhat come together and be in control of it until we able to go or be ready to transmute or to these other realms, or step in these other realms and stuff like that. You're definitely right. It's definitely happening now, my brother. And this brother Galen Cole's interacting with me at this moment, and I appreciate it. All synergy is always welcome. All insight and knowledge is always welcome in this program, Blackanized International Nubian Consciousness. But I'm kind of like perplexed, I guess, what's going on in the community. A continuation every day, it seems like. It's like it's no stopping it, and it should be. We need to curtail it, to put a damper in what's happening in our community, especially on the tip of violence. We can't continue hurting one another, each other. Then they're kidnapping our children. All this got to stop, man. Got to stop. And we just got to be more diligent. We got to be more proactive. We got to establish the frame of reference and of changing our language and changing our perception and changing our heart and becoming peacemakers and not peace breakers, in the effort of producing and emanating love, energy of love amongst each other in an evolutionary way, in a proactive way. And with that, I just want to say that we got to be strong. We cannot give up. Our effort can never be given up, no matter what. And we cannot give up on our youth. We cannot say we cannot reach them youth. It cannot be no generation gap. The one that says that the young can't deal with the old, because that's that Willie Lynch program. And not only that, the ultimate generation gap is when there's a group of missing people, generation of people missing. That's not on the planet no more. That's either been killed or wiped out by our own hands or the hands of our natural enemy. So we have to be strong, brothers and sisters, in the spiritual, divine context of being strong and tapping back into that natural enemy of natural energy. Tapping into the natural energy of who we are, dealing with our natural enemy at the same time. And going black into the ancient future, tapping into African spirituality so that we can grow into our cultural reality and understanding who we are as divine beings. And the only way that we can do that is tapping back into ancient knowledge of African spirituality. And I say this humbly with all sincerity. and the love of my people, loving myself first and foremost, to extend that love to every one of us. And the brother say, he begging, say, to stop the killing. I say the same thing. We must stop the killing of each other from our own hands. It got to stop. Not only here, but throughout the whole nation, upon the whole planet, really. Because it's insane to kill ourselves when we went through this horrific culture dynamic to get to this point. And we still here by going through all the murder, rapes, and lynching and burning of this system. And we here, still here, and standing strong. But we can't let our own hand be a part of our demise in realizing who we are. And a percentage of us still dealing with that animalistic animalistic predator type nature that's been programmed into us, that's been socially engineered into us through energy frequencies and vibrations and television and videos and all these things that's programmed for that. We got to break from that program and be free, become mentally free. Yeah, that was put out there. The brother was talking about that, talking about the endangered species, that they put the black male on the endangered species list before some years ago. And that shouldn't be, because if it keep up, we will be in the museum. Like they got that Black History Museum down there, they'll build another one if we allow it. You see, it shouldn't be that way because we're producing. They're dying out naturally, not us. So don't let us at our own hands develop our own demise. Because by the divine decree, we're going to be here. Because they say the last is going to be first and the first is going to be last. You got to realize that some truth is strangely mixed with falsehood. We got to extract the truth from all literature that we come in contact with. But we are the best literature. We are the best evidence of who we are because we're still here. We're still here and we do everything greater than everybody else. Whatever we get into, we are the greatest at it. So let's be the greatest at living and establishing a system that we can live in harmony and peace. And I say that from my heart. I say it with love and I say it with understanding. We have to come together in a unified effort. We have to save our youth from themselves. We have to protect our elders and the younger generation. That's the next generation of leaders. We got to be protected of them so that they can fall into place and be a representative of us in the future. Because without them, it ain't going to be no us. So let's trust in our divine nature. Let's trust in what our ancestors left us. Let's trust in each other in love, peace, and harmony, and sincerity. And I say, Hotep, Ashe, Assalamu Alaikum, Salam, and most of all, peace and love. Peace and love and power. And today, in your activities, motivate, stimulate, and agitate to righteousness, to unification in our communities, in the essence of love and peace and understanding. Ashe. Well, it's like I don't want to go off, but I do. But so again, I say love and peace.